Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's Room Packed webinar. We're so glad you could join us. My name is Amanda Knurr, and I'll serve as your host for today's webinar. Before we get started, just a few quick announcements and reminders. First of all, our student staff member bulletin board contest is continuing on through the end of this week through March. Please encourage your staff to send in their best boards. We'll highlight all of the submissions and then pick 10 winners for a gift card. Remember, if you have job openings and want a little free help with some advertising, please send them our way so we can add them to our Jobs at RoomPack Schools board. Send the link and we'll take care of the rest. We hope to see you in Anaheim. Registration and program proposals are now open for our R2, the RoomPack to Residence Life Conference in October in Anaheim. All details can be found in a link at the top of our main homepage. Just a few housekeeping items as we get started. Today's session is being recorded and the recording will be available on the RoomPact website within just the next few days. All participants are currently muted to minimize background noise, but if you experience any technical difficulties, please reach out in the chat and I will do my best to help you and assist that you can enjoy the presentation. Throughout this session, feel free to submit your questions or comments in the chat. I'll be actively monitoring it and we'll make sure our presenter has time to address your questions during or after the presentation. And at the end, we'll allow you to unmute and ask your questions individually as well. Now, I'm super excited to introduce today's featured speaker, Charles Holmes-Hope, the Executive Director of University Housing and Dining Services at the University of Vermont. He's going to be leading today's session called How to Conference Well, Maximizing Your National Conference Experience, where Charles is going to share a supportive framework to help emerging professionals make the most of the upcoming conference season. Charles, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your expertise with the RoomPack community. The floor is now yours, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get you started.
Thank you, Amanda, and welcome everyone. My name is Charles Holmes-Hope, and I'm happy to be here today. Today's session will talk more about conference well-being and getting prepared for the conference season. In particular, how to maximize your national conference experience. This session is designed for grad students and professionals, but honestly, many of these strategies are things that I still rely on today. Conferencing can be exciting, overwhelming, and transformative all at once. And my goal today is to help you approach them with more intention, confidence, and strategies. I want to thank Amanda and RoomPack for the opportunity to present today. Allow me to share some of my insights on this topic. I currently serve as the ED for University here at UVM, and my work centers on relational and strategic approaches to advancing student and staff success. Prior to UVM, I held leadership roles at Northwestern, UConn, NIU, Kent State, and other schools throughout the country. I have actively been engaged in national organizations such as ACUI, NASPA, and NACUBO for more than 20 years. Recognizing that over the years, my interests have shifted from my conference home to being more involved now with ACUI around engagement opportunities and attending those conferences to build on my skills and experiences that complement the profession. My first conference was at NASPA Region 4 East Regional Conference in Cleveland, Ohio in 2001. And I was a grad student at Cleveland State University. And I remember feeling excited, but completely overwhelmed by that conference. I walked into a room filled with experienced professionals who seemed already to know each other and how to work with the conference. I was unsure where to begin. I did not know how or which sessions to attend or how to insert myself into those conversations. It felt like everyone had their playbook and I did not. I was fortunate to have my higher ed mother, Dr. Diane Dillon Mitchell, the dean of students, who guided me through that experience. She helped me to navigate sessions. She encouraged me to introduce myself to people and reminded me that I belong in these spaces. That mentorship shaped my earlier career development and deeply influenced how I thought about conferences today. This session exists because I want you to feel prepared as I did. Here is what I hope you will walk away by the end of our time together. First, I want you to feel more equipped to approach conferences with intention by setting clear goals and priorities. Second, we will talk more about how to develop a personalized schedule that balances the educational sessions, networking, and self-care because all three matter. We will also explore how to leverage volunteer opportunities as well as to expand your connections and to gain insight perspectives, as well as to expand your connections throughout your conference experience. Another goal is helping you to engage more confidently and networking and informing and inform conversations so that building professional relationships are more manageable and engaging. We will also discuss how to prepare and maximize vendor fairs by identifying key exhibitors and meaningful dialogue for those conversations. And finally, we will talk more about how to navigate meals, receptions, and social spaces in ways that fosters inclusion and confidence rather than discomfort and anxiety. At the center of all of this is one simple goal, one goal to maximize your national conference experience with intention, confidence, and strategies. Conferencing, well, conferencing is not about being busy in the room. It is about being purposeful. When you when you clear when you're clear about goals and thoughtful about your energy, conferencing becomes more like a powerful catalyst for professional growth. I encourage you to think about conferencing in three phases. First, prepare with the intention before you arrive. Second, engage with purpose during the conference. And third, grow beyond the event after you leave. When you approach conferences in these three stages, you move from reaction to the environment to actively shaping your experiences. That shift makes a tremendous difference. Preparing before you arrive at a conference is so critical. Time takes to review a full conference schedule and note the sessions that really align to your interests and goals. Identifying any time conflicts and build your own personal agenda that reflects your priorities rather than someone else's. Download the conference app ahead of time and explore it. Upload a conference photo so people can recognize you during the conference. Bookmark sessions, engage, engage in the push notification, and review maps, speaker lists, and the session and the sponsor information. You want to familiarize yourself with tools and advancing reduces stress when you arrive. It is helpful to reach out to mentors or colleagues who might guide you during the conference. Ask them what sessions they recommend or whether they can introduce you to others. Conference conferences fears less intimidating when you have connections in the room. Conferencing are long and full days, often starting in the morning and extending into the evening. Packing intentional help to manage your energy and focus is a good thing. Bring in bottled water and stay hydrated. Pack protein bars or small snacks in case things get delayed. Carry a notebook or a tablet for notes and wear comfortable shoes because you will be walking them more than you expected. Do not forget chargers and for your devices. These small details may seem minor, but they can significantly affect your stamina and overall experience. When planning your schedule, prioritize sessions that align with your learning goals. Resist the temptation to attend everything simply because it is available. Balance your sessions with times for networking and breaks. Conferencing are demanding, and pacing yourself is critical. Leave space for spontaneous opportunities because some of the most valuable conversations happen in the hallways, over coffee, or when someone invites you to join them for a discussion. Being flexible is not a lack of structure. It is a strategy choice that allows you meaningful moments to unfold. Networking is one of the most powerful aspects of a conference. It truly is. One of the best places to begin is the opening reception. It is designed for making connection and providing an opportunity to meet colleagues and begin networking with others. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to introduce yourself to someone new in each session. Express contact information through the conference app or business cards. If a presenter works resonates with you, introduce yourself after them and thank them for their insights. Take at least one walk or coffee break with someone new. These small steps create lasting professional relationships. Networking does not have to be um, feel forced or transactional. Being authentic can go a long way to engage with others during the conference. Volunteering provides structure, access to people and information. Whether you are assistant at the registrar's desk, monitoring a session, or supporting a special event, volunteering allows you to meet other colleagues and build a visible profile throughout the association. It also gives you insights into how conference operations scenes are built. That perspective can deepen your connection to the organization and make large events feel smaller and more personable. Vendor fairs are often underutilized spaces for learning and connection. Review the vendor list in advance and identify those most relevant sessions or fairs that your school may be of interest. When engaging with vendors, ask thoughtful questions. Consider how their products or service might impact your work. Collect contact information and take brief notes for follow-up. Those conversations can lead to partnerships, insightful thoughts, and professional growth beyond what you expect. Meals and receptions can feel intimidating, especially if you do not know people, right? Instead of sitting alone, join a table and introduce yourself to that group. A simple greeting can open the door to meaningful dialogues. You do not need to engage in long conversation starters. Asking someone what session uh, they have enjoyed, what brings them back each year to the conference can go a long way. Remember that most people are navigating similar feelings or are open to connections. Confidence grows through action. The more you practice conversation, the easier it becomes. Conferences, often run from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., and that pace can be exhausting. Managing your energy is essential, right? So set realistic expectations for yourself. Bring in, build in short breaks between sessions for rest and reset. Take long walks with a colleague to get to know them. Grab coffee or lunch during off-peak times to avoid long lines and overstimulation. Stay hydrated. That is so key. Get enough sleep and be mindful of the time zone changes. Listen to your body and respect your limits. It is perfectly acceptable to decline an extra social event if you need rest. Self-care is not separate from being professional success. It is what it is. Practical decisions can significantly impact your experiences. If you are sharing a room, consider discussing expectations with your roommate to in advance to avoid misunderstanding. Plan your meals digitally. Avoid avoid peak dinner time when possible, so you can use that time for more effective conversations and connections. These logistical choices may seem small, but they contribute to a smoother and more enjoyable conference experience. The conference does not end when you leave the vineyard. Each day, reflect on what you learn and identify what you want to implement. Save sessions, materials, and slides in an organized folder so that you can review them later on. Within 48 hours, of returning home, follow up with new connections through LinkedIn or emails. A brief message expressing your appreciation for the conversation can solidify the relationship. Share inside information with your colleagues when you bring knowledge back to your campus community and your colleagues. The impact of the conference experience can multiply. At this point, we will shift from my perspective to the videos of some staff here at UVM who attended conferences and developed their own approach over that time. Their experiences highlight practical strategies and reinforces what the conferences will look like both professionally and personally.
Hi, my name is Bailey Gingle. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm an assistant residence director with the residential education team over on North Campus. I've been in the professional field for about 5 years now, 2 years as a full-time staff member, 1 as a student staff, and now as a graduate assistant. I'm part of the NASPA Professional Association, which is the National Association for Student Personnel Administrators. My role within that association, I have attended the regional conference twice and presented once. It was a great experience. Going into my first conference, I remember being pretty nervous, not really knowing what to expect and what the conference would look like, but knowing that I wanted to make the most of the opportunity, just not necessarily knowing how to do that. My really knowing what to expect and what the conference would look like, but knowing that I wanted to make the most of the opportunity, just not necessarily knowing how to do that. My recommendation for anybody attending their first conference would be to identify one goal. You can't do it wrong, so the goal can be anything, but really kind of figure out what your main purpose at that conference is, whether that's making as many connections as possible, learning a new functional area in the field, or discovering a new skill that you can apply to your current work. Whatever that goal is will really help to kind of act as a compass as you're making decisions, choosing what sessions to attend, who to mingle with, all of that wonderful stuff that happens at conferences. It's a great opportunity to have, and having a goal going into it can be really helpful.
So hi, I'm Bailey Cook. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a current residence director here at the University of Vermont. So years in the field that I have about 6 years in the field, 2 as a student staff member, 2 as a graduate hall director, and about 2 years as a residence director here. A conference association that I'm a part of is ACUI. It's the Association for Colleges and Universities Housing Officers International. One of the first conferences that I went to as a graduate hall director was GLACUHO, which is the Greater Lakes region of ACUI. I was really excited to go, and I was just really excited for the opportunity to get to meet professionals in the field, as well as just get to bond with the folks that I went with as like a greater collective. It's probably about 15 of us that went, so it was a lot of folks that came from my university. I was feeling really nervous, but I also was really excited about learning about all the different opportunities. Professional development is something that I hold a lot of passion for. So my biggest piece of advice going to your first conference would be jumping in with both feet. It's really important to just fully experience the conference that you're in.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Simpson. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Assistant Director of Residential Education on Athletic Campus here at UVM. I am currently the State Director of Vermont for NASPA. I've been in this role for a year, and I will continue it on for the next 2 years. My first conference ever, I was super nervous, but also super excited. I didn't know what to expect. I just went into it and followed my boss's lead. And she really helped me understand that this is a networking opportunity, this is a learning opportunity, and this is a place for me to be present and be open to new ideas. And I took a lot out of it, and that really led my interest in conferences for the next 10 years since then. My advice that I would give to a new professional going to their first conference would be to understand that a conference is a marathon and not a sprint. You do not need to go to every single session and meet every single person and stay up until midnight and start your day at 6 a.m. Do what feels right for you. Go to the sessions that call for you. Go to the sessions that you think you'll gain a lot out of. Ask questions in those sessions and challenge yourself to meet maybe 2 to 3 people a day.
Hi, my name is Fafa Akumesa. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm an assistant resident director here on Athletic Campus at UVM. I'm also a graduate student in the HISA program. This is my second year in the field, and I am a member of NASPA. I have attended 2 conferences. One was my first time, and then for the second one, I served on the NASPA Region 1 Planning Committee as a conference intern. I helped plan the conference. When attending a conference for the first time, I would say have a plan of the sessions you want to attend, and don't be afraid to start conversations and network with people.
Thanks to my team. They are the best team here at UVM in campus housing, and they really provided some great insights about what they learned during their first conferences. And I thought that it would be so cool to share with them. That brings us to the end of the formal content of this session. I welcome your questions, whether you are preparing for your first conference or looking to elevate your approach moving forward. Again, this has been a great session, and I'll turn to Amanda for the next part of the session.
Unmute. All right, Charles, thank you again for being our featured presenter and helping us approach conference season with intention. For all of you joining today, I want to thank you so much for joining us and taking time out of your busy schedule. Just know you're going to get an email in the next few days letting you know that the webinar is now available on the RoomPact website if you want to listen to it again or pass it along to a friend who might be a little nervous about starting off their conference experience this spring. I hope that you'll take a few minutes to complete this quick survey and provide some feedback on today's sync session. The link is right here in the chat. There you go. And we'll also be in the email that we send out letting you know that this session is live. Finally, I hope that you're considered joining us for one of our upcoming webinars. The next one is going to be called From Data to Decision, the Power of Clear Visualization of Data. That's going to be on Friday, March 20th at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then on Friday, April 10th at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we have And Duty and Dragons, a game-based approach to incident response training. So again, I want to thank you so much for the time today and really look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.